I'm hoping this lesson makes things more clearer about the general counting and subdividing of 16th notes, as well as how you tie them. Let's start by clapping and counting. We're going to say 1, E, and duh. Ready, go. 1, E, and duh. So, when we say that, you all know that it's 1, E, and 1, E, and Sometimes it's written as a plus sign. Sometimes the and is written as a plus with a little slash. You've probably seen it that way before too. 1, E, and But you probably notice when we say it, 1, E, and that sounds like duh. That sounds like knee. 1, E, and duh. And that's because when we speak or when we sing, we actually put the final consonant on the next syllable. So the N goes here and the D goes here, like this. 1, E, and That's sort of a singing lesson for you. Also about language, you probably didn't realize it. 1, E, and And if you want to really get technical, we put the N on the next word, and it's just 1, E, and Say that. 1, E, and But for the purpose of this lesson, the answers I'm going to give as choices are 1, E, and the separate words, not the words that are elided together smoothly. And 1, E, and So, let's take a look at these 16th notes. If you're counting them, what is the third 16th note counted as? The third one is and. How do you count the fourth 16th note? The fourth 16th note is counted as What's the first 16th note? First 16th is 1. What is the second 16th note? It's E. What is the fourth 16th note? This is What is the third one? Third 16th note? And. Let's clap and count. Ready, go. 1, E, and And like I said, when you speak it, it's really going to sound like 1, E, and But we know what it stands for. So let's clap and count just 3/16. Ready, go. 1, E, and. Again, ready, go. 1, E, and. Let's just clap and count 2/16. Ready, go. 1, E. Again, ready, go. 1, E. And let's just clap and count 1/16. Remember you learned if they're connected, they have beams. If they are not connected, they have, what are these called? These curved lines are called flags. So it's just counted as 1. Do that. Ready, go. 1. So let's go backwards. Let's do a 16th note. Ready, count. 1. How many 16th notes are in a 16th note? There is 1 16th note in a 16th note, of course. Ready, go. 1. Let's clap and count 2/16. Ready, go. 1, E. I'm going to add a tie. When you connect the two notes with a curved line, you're combining them into one continuous clap. It's going to be counted as 1, E, but instead of going 1, E, you are going to go 1, E. Let's try that. Ready, go. 1, E. So if you tie two 16th notes together, you get an 8th note. Let's clap and count the 8th note. Ready, go. 1, E. How many 16th notes are in an 8th note? There are 2 16ths in an 8th. Let's move on to 3/16. Ready? Count. 1, E, and. What do we call the curved lines I am drawing between the notes? We call them ties. So in this case, you won't go 1, E, and. You're going to make it one continuous clap. 1, E, and. Try that. Ready? Go. 1, E, and. And the equivalent for 3/16 notes is the dotted eighth. Clap and count. Ready? Go. 1, E, and. It's the same thing. How many sixteenths are in the dotted eighth? There are 3/16 in the dotted eighth. Let's clap and count these. Ready? Go. 1, E, and. Let's just clap and count the dotted eighth, which is the equivalent. Ready? Go. 1, E, and. And you might think of this, don't think of it as two notes. It's one note as a unit. A dotted eighth is just one note. Let's clap and count 4/16. Ready? Go. 1, E, and, da. What count goes on the second one? E. What count goes on the fourth one? What count goes on the third one? And. What count goes on the first one? 1. What am I drawing as curved lines connecting these notes? They're called ties. So instead of going 1, E, and, da, we're going to connect them and go 1, E, and, da. Let's do that. Ready? Go. 1, E, and, da. And just as a review, let's just do 3 of them. Ready? Go. 1, E, and let's just do 2 of them. Ready? Go. 1, E. Let's do 3 of them. I'm trusting that you are clapping and counting with this. Ready? Go. 1, E, and. And let's do all 4 of them. Ready? Go. 1, E, and, And you know 4/16 equals a quarter note. Let's clap and count. Ready? Go. 1, E, and, How many sixteenths in a quarter note? There are 4/16 in a quarter note. Ready? Go. 1, E, and, Quarter note. Ready? Go. 1, E, and, Let's move on. So now we've got patterns. Let's clap and count. Ready? Go. 1, E, and, What is behind this card? What is the equivalent? The answer is 16th, 16th, 8th. 16th, 16th, 8th. Ready? Count. 1, E, and, Ready? Go. 1, E, and, What do we call these? These horizontal lines are called beams. What do we call these? This is called a stem. What is this? That's the head. How many beams are on a 16th note? A 16th note has 2 beams. How many beams on an 8th note? 8th note has 1 beam. And how many flags are on a 16th note? A 16th note has 1, 2 flags. It's counted as 1. How many flags are on an 8th note? An 8th note has, I'll get one from down here. An 8th note has 1 flag. Let's clap and count. Ready? Go. 1, E, and, Let's do the next one. Ready? Count. 1, E, and, What is the equivalent? The equivalent is 16th, 8th, 16th. Let's take a look. 16th, 8th, 16th. Two flags on the 16th. Sorry, two beams on the 16th. One beam on an 8th. Ready? Count. 1, E, and da. Let's do the tied equivalent. Ready? Go. 1, E, and da. And let's do this one. Ready? Go. 1, E, and da. Ready? Count. 1, E, and da. What's the equivalent? 8th, 16th, 16th. 8th, 16th, 16th. 8th has one beam, 16ths have two. Ready? Count. 1, E, and da. Let's do the tied equivalent again. Ready? Go. 1, E, and da. And let's do the regular one. Ready? Go. 1, E, and da. Ready? Go. 1, E, and da. What's the equivalent? Dotted 8th, 16th. Because 3/16 equals a dotted 8th. And 1/16 equals a 16th. Ready? Go. 1, E, and da. Let's do the tied one again. Ready? Go. 1, E, and da. And the standard one. Ready? Go. 1, E, and da. Let's clap and count. Ready? Go. 1, E, and da. What's the equivalent? 16th dotted 8th. Because 1/16 equals 1/16, 3/16 equals a dotted 8th. Ready? Go. 1, E, and da. Let's do this one. Ready? Go. 1, E, and da. And let's do this. Ready? Go. 1, E, and da. Ready? Go. 1, E, and da. What's the equivalent? 4/16 equals a quarter note. Ready? Go. 1, E, and da. Just basic math. Ready? Go. 1, E, and da. What's the equivalent? 8th, 8th. Because 2/16 equal an 8th, 2/16 equal an 8th. Ah, look at that. One beam. Ready? Go. 1, E, and da. So question. How many beams are in a 16th note? 16th notes have two beams. How many beams on an 8th note? 8th notes have one beam. How many stems on an 8th note? All notes that have a stem only have one. And let's do one more exercise. This will be pretty simple. You have to just tell me what count each note falls on. We're going to do 2 beat patterns here. And let me pan out so you can see all of these. What beat does this fall on? This is 1. Let's clap and count. Ready, go. 1. What is the count for this 16th note? It's E. Ready, go. E. What is the count for this 8th note? This 8th note is and da, because it's 2/16. What is the count for this 16th note? This is 2, because it's only 1/16 long. Ready, go. 2. What do you count for this 8th note? This is E and. Ready, go. E and. Because an 8th equals 2/16. And what's the count for this 16th? It's a. Ready, go. A. Let's put it together. Ready, go. 1, E, and 2, E, and Let's go backwards. Ready, go. 1, E, and 2, E, and And let's do one more set. And I'll take these out from behind so it doesn't look confusing. So, on what count, what do you count for the first eighth note? 1E. Ready, go. 1E. What do you count for the 16th note? And. Ready, go. And. What do you count for the next 16th note? Ready, go. What do you count for this dotted eighth note? It'll be 2E and. Ready, go. 2E and. What do you count for this 16th note? Ready, go. Let's clap and count the whole thing. Ready, go. 1E and 2E and because remember that's 3/16 long. Ready, go. 1E and 2E and So final review. What kind of note is this? That's a 16th note. How many 16ths are in a 16th? 1. How many flags are on a 16th? 2 flags. How many beams are on a 16th? 2 beams. What kind of note is this? That's a dotted eighth note. How many 16th in a dotted eighth? 3. What kind of note is this? This is a 16th note. How many 16ths are in a 16th note? 1 16th in a 16th note. What kind of note is this? Eighth note. How many 16ths in an eighth note? 2 16ths in an eighth note. And let me put up another question. How many flags are on a 16th note? 16th note has 2 flags, just like it has 2 beams. How many flags are on a quarter note? A quarter note has no flags or no beams. How many 16th notes are on a quarter note? A quarter note has 4 16ths. That's why it's 1E and